My name is Lyle Douglas Lehn. My friends call me Doug. And I'm a missionary. I'm retired now. I was a missionary in the Caribbean islands. And we built a 48-foot Chinese junk, my wife and I, and sailed to the Caribbean and planted churches around different islands. I've always wanted to build a boat, and I always wanted to be on the water. I don't remember not wanting to be doing those things. So I think the Lord instilled in me the desire to be on the water. And of course you need a boat to do that. So we built it at my father's house in Kingsley, Michigan. We at the time were going to seminary in Massachusetts, Gordon Conwell in Massachusetts. And so we would come to Michigan the month of August every year for 7 years, and then we spent 6 months full-time there finishing it out and launching. And we launched it, and then we motored down the Intercoastal Waterway to Florida and then across the Gulf Stream to the islands. It was a boating community, so we did boating things. Day to day, well, get up, get your breakfast, get your boat ready, bail the water out that's rained overnight, and make sure that all the systems on the boat are working right. And then go out visiting other boats. If we were near an island, we would all congregate on the island generally if there was a beach or whatever, and we would share the gospel as we swam and did our daily activities, whatever that happened to be. Living on a boat is not easy. You have to haul all your own water or make it. And electricity, you have to make all your own electricity. Everything has to be done by hand, pretty much. This is all 20, 30 years ago, so today it might be a little different. Anyway, it was a wonderful life, and we shared the gospel every chance we got, wherever we were. We served in the Bahamas, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Jamaica. It all sounds like rather a life on a cruise ship. However, people are people. I don't care where you go. And they all need the Lord, and they all have the same reasons for not joining up. So we wear them down with our love and share the gospel in the end, and they give their lives to Jesus. What an awesome life. Really comes to mind is a man named Kingsley. He was a murderer and just a nasty little piece of work in Jamaica, lived up in the mountains. And I met him because he put his machete up against my throat and told me he was going to steal everything from me. And the Lord is amazing. I have this machete up against my throat, and the Lord tickled my funny bone, and I burst out laughing. I just couldn't help myself. I just roared with laughter, and this poor guy on the other end of the machete, Kingsley was his name, he didn't know what to do. He really had no idea what to do with this white man that's laughing and sharing the gospel everywhere he goes. So he left me alone, and in fact we became friends, and he would come to church by standing outside one of the open windows behind a bush and listening to everything that went on there. And whether he ever gave his life to Jesus or not, I don't know. I do know that he quit killing people and got a job and went to work. My dad wanted to go to New Tribes, so we went to New Tribes in California. I was 2 years old, and he wanted to go to the mission field, but he never was able to do that. So when we built the boat and commissioned it to go to the mission field, he vicariously went with us and did mission work through his labors on the boat. I would say he built the hull. I mean, I was there, and I did a lot of cutting and hands-on, but I was the carry lifter guy. He was the guy that knew what he was doing. I knew what a bolt needed to be. He knew how to do it in steel. So we were a good team. And for 3 years, we were father and son working on a boat. And then after about the third year, we started on it, and I realized it's just two guys building a boat. It wasn't no more dad this, son that. It was just two guys building a boat. What a relationship we had. What an awesome thing the Lord did to give me that time with my father. We actually got to the Bahamas, and we were listening to the weather, and the forecast was that 3 storms were going to combine into one storm and overrun us, and we needed to find a place to be safe and secure. So we did a 2-day trip, watch and watch, and arrived at a safe harbor, anchored, got all ready, and it was midnight, right on the money. It was like the lightning went off inside of my eyeballs. I mean, it was incredible, and the sensory overload, when the storm hit us, was just impossible to deal with. Anyway, there was a mooring in the harbor, and I had put a line on the boat that I could attach it to that mooring if the storm got too bad. That's lubber's thinking. That's not a good sailor's thinking. Anyway, the storm hit right at midnight, and I got in our rowboat and tried to row over to that mooring and attach. And of course, the wind's blowing 70 knots. You can't row a boat. It blew me right up on the shore. And Lois was left alone on a 48-foot steel boat, navigating, conning the thing, keeping it off the rocks, everything, all by herself. And I'm stuck on the shore, naked, can't get away, and just stuck there because the winds were so high. So we were both crying out to the Lord to help us. And when the help came, I actually thought the boat was going to be destroyed, and Lois with it. She was out in the harbor, and then she started moving towards the shore, and I thought she'd lost control or something had happened to her. When she got close enough to me, it blocked the wind, and I was able to row furiously and get back aboard the boat, and we were able to save the ship at that point. God was in charge of the wind. It was flat calm between me and Daystar when that happened, when I was able to reboard. And it's just the instant before that and the instant after that, it's 70 knots of wind. And a fisherman who was in the harbor next to us recorded that 70 knots. That's a Category 1 hurricane.
Wow.
Anyway, we survived it. The Lord got involved, and we survived it, and went on to do whatever He wanted us to do.